What am I doing? This is by far the most difficult thing I've done on this channel. I'm trying to learn game dev from nothing to see if anyone can be a solo dev if they put enough time and effort into it. Except for this next project, I'm not a solo dev. I enlisted some help. My Discord has been huge in both allowing me to learn from other devs and also giving me an endless supply of inspiration seeing the projects that everyone is working on. Seriously, look at this. And this. And this. And this. And this. It's also from someone in Discord that I got an interesting challenge. Basically, I create polls to let everyone in the Discord vote on what the next game should be. I can choose the genre, but after that, I'm completely at the mercy of, well, you. So, I got started. I picked a day to start this project, while in the meantime, I tried to decide what genre the game should be, especially since this is one of the few things I actually have control over. If I get this wrong, there's a very real chance I may not be able to finish this game, because I'm still new. After a lot of thinking, I decided to go with something that I've been wanting to try out for a while. I grew up on the old Pokemon games, and I also really like the Civilization series. These two games are pretty different, but there's something that they also have in common: tiles. I felt for a while that making a tile-based game would be a fun programming challenge, especially since I specifically remember when I was at the very beginning of learning game dev and trying to figure out how to add movement for the first time, thinking, how the heck would I make a tile-based game? I may still be a novice, but I think I've learned enough to have an idea of how I would tackle that sort of movement. So, what genre did I decide on? I really hope I don't regret this. Let's see how this goes. I started creating some polls in the Discord to find out a little more about the game I'll be making. I would make a few at a time, and once those polls finished, I would make more, each time eagerly waiting for my Discord to formulate the details of the game. The results? Well, it looks like we have a challenging, pixel art, turn-based sci-fi game where you destroy the enemy base. There will be a focus on upgrading your base, the map tiles will be randomly generated each game, and there will be tile-based hazards as well as buildable defensible structures. If you want to check out the results of all of the polls, be sure to join the Discord with the link in the description. But there's one poll in particular that I didn't realize how much of an effect it would end up having on the game. What kind of in-game turns do you prefer? Player then AI turns, which is classic turn-based, or simultaneous turns, where the player and AI both act at the same time, then their actions are resolved at the end of the turn. It was very close, but simultaneous turns won by 1 vote. I didn't know it at the time, but from now on, every gameplay decision would have to be viewed through this single game aspect. And this challenge just got a lot more difficult. To start, I made some placeholder sprites and began to create the map. The idea is that the player and AI will both have a warrior, a ranger, and a scout, as well as a base they need to defend. Let's make them move! I created a system to be able to check whether a tile is valid to move to or not. Like, is it on the map, and is it within range for that unit to travel to that turn? I also created some highlights to show the valid tiles, and when you click, the character moves. Except, wait, what if you can't move? Remember that both the player and AI make their turns simultaneously. So what if the AI did something, like try to move to that tile at the same time? Then what happens? In most games, when you move, it's pretty simple. You just do it. But for this, I need to take a different approach because what you want to do may or may not be possible. We need a new plan. What if inputs by the player weren't actions, but intentions? So if you click a tile, instead of moving to that tile, you're saying, I intend on moving to this tile next turn. Then after clicking end turn, all intentions are resolved based on each player's actions. So how do I show this visually? What if a ghostly clone moves to the spot you're wanting to move to? Then when you end your turn, you move to that spot if it's possible. This took a while to get working correctly, but it's also one of the fundamentals of the mechanics of the game, so it's important to spend a little extra time here to make sure it's not a buggy mess. Next, I don't want you to be able to see the whole map from the start, so we need a fog of war system. I started off by generating a fog tile, which for now is just a white square on top of every tile in the game. Each unit has a limit for how far they can travel per turn, and I'm also using this number to define their eyesight as well. For every tile within a unit's line of sight, I then make the fog tile invisible, creating a very simple fog of war. But I don't like how the fog covers up everything behind you again as you're moving. I'm assuming that if you were really moving through the land, you'd be taking note of the surroundings. To fix this problem, I decided on 3 different fog levels. Full fog, where you can't see anything, no fog, where you can see everything, and for the areas where you previously explored, partial fog, where you can see the land but no enemy units, since their positions can change. With some of the basic mechanics done, I think it's finally time to address the elephant in the room. It's painful to look at this. We need some real art in this game, but considering my art skill isn't great, I think we need a little help to ease the burden. Every first Monday of the month, I like to give a small game dev challenge in the Discord so we can all keep practicing our skills, and sometimes I feature the submissions in videos. Since it was time for a new challenge, I gave anyone the opportunity to make some art for the game. I picked out the color palette and pixel density, and the submissions we got are exactly what I was hoping for. Now, it's my turn. Do you see a difference? It's fine, right? I tried to make hovering robots since the game is supposed to be futuristic. Also, I'm not sure what the base is supposed to be. I might need to make a second pass at that later. Alright, now with some art in the game, we need some kind of UI system to be able to interact with the world. Right now, all we have is this end turn button and this attack button that doesn't do anything when you click on an enemy unit. Luckily, displaying the information from different units isn't too complicated. It's just a matter of displaying the correct variables of whatever unit is selected. But the attacking definitely took me longer than I thought it would, but probably not for the reason you might think. I got the very basics of combat working so that health from the defending unit is decreased based on the power of the attacking unit. That part's fine. The part that tripped me up wasn't that, it was what should you click on to attack? First, I was thinking I would take this attack button and just move it to the side menu. But how the side menu works is that it shows the info for whatever unit was last selected. And when you click on another unit, the previous unit is deselected. So with no friendly unit selected, how would the game determine who to attack the enemy unit with? I spent a while trying to figure out a solution to this that made sense to me. And finally, I decided that if you click on an enemy unit that's in range with your enemy unit selected, you will attempt to attack next turn. Next, I'll need to work on adding movement for the attacking, as well as a visual indicator so you know which units you're attacking on the next turn. But we're getting there, and I'm pretty happy that progress, although slow, is being made. This project started out as a fun little challenge, and to be honest, it's still a fun challenge. In every other game that I've worked on, I made all of the decisions for gameplay, art, everything. So what I really like about this challenge is that it gives me the chance to program features and solve puzzles that I wouldn't have ever come across if I were making all of the decisions myself. I still have a long way to go, both on this game and learning in general, but I really hope that by the end of it, I can make something that someone is able to have fun with, even if that's still a thing. Thanks for watching. It's been really fun collaborating with the Discord on this project. If you're a game dev and looking for a place to learn, get inspired, and talk with other game devs, feel free to join with the link in the description. I'll see you over there, and see you in the next video.